Hey guys! Welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy Mystic Quest! Last time, we began our game with a bit of a shock to, I'm sure, a few of you who weren't really expecting to be playing Final Fantasy Mystic Quest. One thing to note, there are some cure potions down here, if you care. Not that most of these little brown chests really matter, since they're all repeatable anyway, and they all give us some of the same basic items. Now, there's a few things last time I was starting to talk about and never got around to. First, if you press the select button on the world map, you disappear. Press it again, and you're back. Don't ask me why, but it's there. Okay, next, let's take a look at these. Well, we could go to these battlefields. There's one to the left there, too. Now, what these are it's basically a round. You press the A button, you run into a battle, you fight the battle, and what they've done here is, trees are weak against axes, for obvious reasons, I guess. But yeah, so you attack them with the axe, you do more damage, they're weak, they die, one hit. Pretty easy. What they've done is they've put these battlefields here to avoid the need for grinding. And so instead of grinding in another area, you grind on the battlefields instead, which is fine. The thing is only your main hero, Benjamin, gains experience. The other characters that you'll get in the game, the secondary characters, they don't gain any experience at all. And at least to my knowledge, having them in your party doesn't reduce the amount of experience that you get either. So there's no real reason to take care of battlefields by yourself, unless you're just not going to get a new party member for quite some time. Looking for some cure? No, I'm looking for an elixir. Sell you. Well, that's more money than I got. Though I've heard if you grind for hours upon hours upon hours and get that much, you can actually buy it this early in the game, which allows you to get another item way earlier than you're supposed to be able to. Now, I have not tested this myself, but I've heard it's possible. But yeah, I wouldn't really worry about it. We don't really have a lot of money, and we're only getting like, 9 gold for each battle, so it would take forever to do all that. So yeah, I wouldn't do that if I were you, but I've heard it's possible. Go whack some monsters and maybe we can win something. The name's Benjamin. And we get Tristam. Tristam is a ninja with ninja stars, and he's frickin' badass, and yeah, so having Tristam along for the ride is going to make things a little bit easier. First thing, we can go and we can take out these battlefields. Now, at each battlefield, there's usually between 1 and 3 or 4 different enemies that you're going to encounter at each battlefield. And you're just going to fight them, multiple variants of that over and over and over again until you finish up the battle. Or the battlefield, and there's usually 10 battles in each battlefield. You fight them all, you gain the experience, you usually get a prize at the end. Sometimes it's experience, sometimes it's gold, sometimes it's an item. What I'm going to do with these battlefields, since it's the same battles over and over again, is I'm going to clean them all out, save for the last one, and unless there's like a specific enemy that I want to show strategy for, I'll just show whatever the last battle happens to be, since the enemies you find in here are usually the same ones you're going to find in the neighboring dungeon anyway, so for the most part I'm not going to go out of my way to show extra fights. Most of the enemies in this game aren't super difficult. But they do. We'll go into one more battle here just to go over my point that I was trying to make in the last episode. There are elemental attacks, but there are also attack types or weapon types. In this case, you saw there that Tristam's ninja stars have a poison status effect with them. These guys can also inflict poison. Now, these guys are strong against the poison aspect, but since the poison isn't influencing damage, it doesn't really matter. He still does lots of damage. We'll still be fine. Now, those trees were weak against axe-type attacks. Now, that's one of the other interesting aspects to the game, is not only can enemies be weak against elemental damage or status effects, they can also be weak against attack types. So axe is an attack type, sword is an attack type. Anything that's a projectile is called a shoot type attack or a projectile. But yeah, so if you take a look at this, we attack with the axe, it's weak against an axe attack, it does a little more damage. Anyway, so I'm going to clean out the rest of the battlefields down to 1, and then we'll go and find out what the item is. And of course, you know, use the heal potions that I went and grabbed off screen there to heal me up. And yeah, I'll see you in a moment. Okay, we're back, and there's only one more battle to go, so let's just take down these guys, see what we get for it. One thing to note is the toads in the other battlefield there, they love to inflict poison on you. In fact, I got hit with poison about 5 times in one battle, which was really annoying, and I had to go grab some more healing potions, which is why I wanted to grab some extra ones to begin with, because you don't find a lot really early in the game. You find a lot more cure potions, which you won't tend to use. For doing this, we win 54 experience. Now, there is another bit of a glitch here. If you have, if you go into here, check your status screen, the amount of experience required for your next level is shown over on the right at the top there. So it's 1400. So if you have like very little left, say like 100 or less or something like that, you go into a battle, or maybe it has to be, I can't remember. Anyway, if you go in there with a really low amount, you defeat the battlefield, level up, and then your reward for defeating that battlefield is another, what's the word I'm looking for, is more experience, then you'll gain a second level right away, and then it'll take a lot more experience to level up, because you'll basically have to still have that same amount of experience. So if it was say 1400 and then say 2000 for the next, it'd be 35 to get all the way to the next level. So you get the extra level right away, so you level up twice, but it would take you just as long to get to the next level. So it gives you one level a little earlier than you otherwise would have had it, but it's not really a big deal. So anyway, that's what we do there. Let's go over here and take a look at this one. Now, one of the things I was talking about before, let's just take down the toads first, since they love to poison me, is if you don't outright kill an enemy right away, like I don't think you can outright kill this guy, especially not if you miss. Come on. Okay, so he dies right away. Basically, what I was trying to talk about is the change in the sprite as the enemy loses HP. And what that'll do is it just kind of shows you how far along you have. Most enemies have, like normal enemies have between 1 and 3 different, or between 2 and 3 different sprites that they have, depending on how much HP they have left. Bosses tend to have like 3 or 4. Most enemies only have 2 though. So anyway, that's just another really cool thing. Like, we don't see that very often in any other JRPGs. Like, we saw it in you'll see like sagging in maybe Final Fantasy X, or in Chrono Cross, you'll see the enemies changing quite a bit. There's a lot of sagging in that one too, but anyway, that's pretty much the point I wanted to make there. Now, when we get into some of these dungeons, you'll notice that obviously there are enemies everywhere, and we don't have, what's the word I'm looking for? We don't have random battles anymore. If you go up here, you're stuck. Kind of. But yeah, you see all the enemies around here. Many of these we've fought before. So what I'm going to do is when we run into a whole bunch of enemies like this, I'm just going to fight them all off screen to save myself a headache when it comes to the editing process. That, and I probably would have cut out a good chunk of these battles anyway. But yeah, we do have one new enemy here, and I think it's this guy. So let's show him off. The Sandworm. He is weak against axe-type attacks. So you can kill him just with your axe. You could also just attack with Tristram too, but Tristram has lost quite a few of his throwing stars at this point, so I would like to build him up a little bit more, so I won't be wasting them too much. But as you go through most dungeons, when you have a character like Tristram who's got throwing stars, and as you can see, there's a number, he's got 57 of them left. I started with 99 of them. There's a limited amount that you can use until you find more. So don't worry too much, because they love to give you more than enough to finish up an area, but at the same time, don't waste them either. So anyway, I'm going to clear out these enemies. Alright, so we finished off all those battles. As we do that, we'll kind of gain levels, and as we open chests, we'll get a lot of the ninja stars that we do need. Do note if you're fighting like 3 enemies and both Benjamin and Tristan can one-shot them, then I would, defend on Tristan's second turn, because as the higher level character, and you'll note this as you kind of go through the game, when you get a character, he's not higher level anymore, but when you get a new party member, they will be a higher level than your current party member. Usually they get strong enough to last up until, go through the dungeons that you're going to be going through with that character until the plot says that that character leaves your party. So you'll want to kind of hold off on too many of his throwing stars, one of the points I was making. And the other point was that you're going to want to kind of make life easier for yourself. Well, if you look at the speed stat there, that's the point I was trying to make. The speed stat of your higher level character, your secondary character, is almost always going to be higher than yours, so he's almost always going to go first. And so if you defend with him, then you'll be able to save out on some of his throwing stars because he will always go first. And so if you defend with him, then you can still one-shot them with the axe anyway, then you're not going to be too worried. Now, the one thing to note, is on the armor. We do have a new party member, and he is protected against, I think, was it doom or death and fire. Well, if you look at the status screen, he's not protected against those things. So let's go and save, and then, like we did before there, we will reload. Throw some fast forward on this time to make life go a little faster. And there we go. He's protected against fire now. Now, the other stuff that was on the Petrify, I don't think there's any enemies in here that Petrify you, so that's nothing really to worry about. But anyway, we cleared out all the enemies on this screen, so now we can move forward to the next area of this dungeon. This is a very kind of straightforward, easy to figure out dungeon, and there is a treasure chest up there that we cannot get yet. We gotta go get an item so that we can get past that skull thing there. The bones. I don't think there's anything down here, is there? No, there is not. Alright, so let's head up here. And there's an obstacle here, too. Watch this. Oh, you got bombs. Well, sell you 50 explosives for 30 cheap. Nah. Oh, I got a deal. Yeah, if you say no the first time, you get a deal. He cuts the price in half. So as soon as you get those, the first thing you want to do is you want to head backward. That is exactly what we need to blow up the bones that were blocking our way to the treasure chest just a moment ago. So go back here and use the R1 or L1 buttons to change your weapon and select the bomb. It blows it up. You come back here and you get a steel shield, which is a new piece of armor. You won't find new armor for any of your secondary characters, only for your main hero. The charm that we got from the battlefield provides 1 defense. It's not particularly useful. The shield provides 5 defense. It's a little better, and that was the armor that I believe we started the game with. There are other abilities or other stats that those provide. I think some of it provides accuracy. I think the charm provides magic, a little bit of magic stat. Something provides speed, I think. I can't remember what that is. It might be the shield. But yeah, the stats all do exactly what you think they would do. Speed determines who goes first in battle. You'll also... Yeah, that's the other thing is not only the status effects and the elemental, but the speed as well and the stats of the secondary character, those will all reset when you load up your other, when you save and reload. So it's kind of annoying that way, because if you notice, my speed before with Tristan was 28, and now it's 38. So yeah, he gained a bunch more speed when I reloaded there. So anyway, we got some better equipment there. Let's go back down this way. We'll try and explore what's left of this area. It's not a very large area, that's for sure. But it's the start of the game. We're not expecting, anything too difficult. I like the fact that when we get the bombs, it basically becomes somewhat of a Zelda-type game in terms of, we get to use bombs to do certain things and have a little bit of kind of fun with them with little puzzles that they kind of create for you. And we've got a new enemy here, Rock. Now, these guys are weak to projectiles, if I remember correctly. Yeah, they call them shoot attacks, I don't know why. So Tristam can one-shot them. And over here, we have a skeleton. Skeletons, you can hit with the cure spell, and it will defend. And you can pretty much one-shot most undead enemies early on with that. I wouldn't waste all your spell charges on it personally, but that's entirely up to you. Alright, so let's take on one more of these guys. The other thing to note with the bomb is it's a weapon you can use in battle. Now, it always targets all enemies, but it has a higher attack power than the sword or the axe. So if there's only one enemy, and you defend and let him get the attack off first, it'll do quite a bit more damage than, you know, your normal weapons will do. Let's take a quick look at that. So yeah, we got 30, 34, and 63. Now, I believe the amount of damage done by the bomb stays the same, but weapons like the axe and the sword will actually increase as your strength increases. And as you gain levels, I think you get pretty much the same stats every time. I think it's 50 or 40 HP, 2.5 attack, and like 2 defensor, and some other things. You get a set amount every single level, and it's always the same, which is kind of lame, but this is a very introductory JRPG. We're not expecting grand strategy or anything out of it. But anyway, I'm going to take care of the rest of these enemies, and I will see you in a moment. Okay, I saved one battle for later just to kind of show something off. You can basically plan around the fact that your secondary character is going to attack first. Say, like, if you want to use a bomb, it's going to target all the enemies, but then the power is distributed upon all of them, so it's not going to one-shot anything. But if you, say, attack with your secondary character, you know they have more speed, so they're going to go first. You hit them with the first attack there, and then you know the bomb's coming secondary, and so you can kind of plan things around there. Pretty much everything is kind of determined around making use of the stats that your characters have and making them work to your advantage. You know, speed, strength, weapon type, all that kind of stuff. Nothing over there. Over here, we have a new enemy. And this guy is somewhat new as well. You can either kill him with a bomb, or you can kill him with one of Tristam's ninja stars. Either way, he dies one hit. Not too difficult there. Got more explosives. That's one of the other things you'll start to find in chests now. You'll find more, of course, of the ninja stars. You'll find more bombs, stuff like that. And you can finish off these guys with an axe, so we don't waste any consumable items. Blow up that guy in a really cool way. Now, there is a little secret area over here. Not that it has anything particularly valuable. There's nothing down below. But we get more ninja stars, which are good. You're going to want to have some more of them. You can sit there and jump all day if you really want to. There's no, you can't like jump underneath things or anything like that. But, oh well. Alright, finish off those guys, get some more ninja stars. As you can see, even though we were down quite a few from all the battlefields I took out before, we're starting to build them all the way back up. It doesn't take very long. And I wouldn't worry about the amount of bombs that you have at all. You can basically waste them all in this dungeon, because after that we're going to find a way of farming them really, really fast. And so I'll just do that. It'll take like a minute and we'll have max. So anyway, in a battle like this, attack this guy, kill him, use the bomb to kill this guy. There we go. Yeah, see, this stuff here will kind of drag you this way, and it'll shoot you back. It's quicksand or moving sand or something like that. So whenever you see stuff like that, try and avoid it. For the most part, you don't really need to run into it at all. Okay, I took care of the other guy that was guarding this chest, which contains more ninja stars. Almost maxed out on them now. To open this guy, we need another bomb. Head through here, and I believe we want to go up first. Yeah. Ooh, seeds. These are really, really rare early in the game. And what seeds do is they restore all of your magic charges. Not a huge deal right now because we don't have a lot of magic, but later on that will become very, very valuable. So I would save those for a little bit later. Alright, finished off those guys. Come back up here, set the bomb, blow the thing up. I believe I'm going up here first. Yes, there we go. The Quake spell. Its Earth Elemental hits all enemies all the time. It's not really the best spell. It has very few uses. There's not a lot of enemies that are weak against it. You can't one-shot this guy with Tristram, so I would attack this guy first, and then have the bomb finish off the Minotaur. There we go. But yeah, so I wouldn't, I don't know. I wouldn't use the Quake spell super often. Anyway, that's pretty much all for this dungeon, so we just have that guy there. The one thing you'll probably want to do is you'll probably want to save, even though, you know, there's no real downside to it, just, I guess, in case things go wrong. But you can always redo the fight if you lose. So anyway, that's all for this one, and I'll see you guys next time.